What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. It's time now to officially give you my 2023 Big Ten football projected standings heading into the 2023 college football season. A couple days ago, I gave you the SEC standings, also SEC football standings coming into the 2023 season with the projections. And then yesterday, I gave you the ACC conference projection standings. Now we're here on the Big Ten conference, and like I said, we're doing these for every single Power 5 conference. Today we're doing the Big Ten, tomorrow we'll do the Big 12, and then, of course, on Thursday we'll do the Pac-12. So that's how it's going to work. But now we're on the Big Ten Conference, and again, these are just based off of those schedule preview and projected record series that we did. You can go back and watch all those schedule preview and projected records. I'll leave it in the end of this video as well. And again, you can go back and watch all the schedule previews and, go through those videos and see what the projection came out to be for each team. And now we're going to look at the Big Ten and see what their projected record was based on that schedule preview and projected record. So let's get right into it here with my Big Ten football projected standings for the upcoming 2023 season. Not my official prediction. This is simply a projection based on those schedule previews that we did. So let's get right into it here with the Big Ten Conference. We'll start with the Big Ten East. We'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top. We got Rutgers here at number 7, projected to go 4-8, 1-8 in the conference. I don't expect the Rutgers to go winless in the Big Ten this year, but this is a team that, kind of made a positive impact from last year, but this team definitely was not that good last year, and the Rutgers have not been the best team in the Big Ten for a very long time, and, they just haven't been able to get back to that caliber with the top teams in the Big Ten. And so the Rutgers, they're projected to go 4-8 and 1-8 in the conference. Then Indiana here at number 6. Indiana and Rutgers are both kind of similar. They're not one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, but they're definitely close to that category. However, I expect Indiana to be a lot better than, last year. I think they were definitely, some people were still high on them, even though, they had a really bad 2021 season. And I didn't really expect Indiana to be that really good last year. I think this team was definitely overrated in my opinion last year. But they're projected to go 4-8, 1-8 in the conference. Same thing with the Rutgers. I don't expect both of these teams to go winless in the Big Ten at all this season. Maryland comes in here at number 5. One of the most decent teams, I believe, coming into 2023, especially in the Big Ten East. I expect this team to kind of be that dark horse contender in the Big Ten East as well. They're projected to go 8-4 and 5-4 in the conference. Maryland has got a lot of production coming back. They should be both really good on both sides of the ball, especially on that offensive side of the ball, like they were last year. So I'm kind of expecting Maryland to be that dark horse contender right behind these top 4 teams in the Big Ten. Let's talk about those 4 teams now. Michigan State comes in here at number 4, projected to go 9-3 and 6-3 in the conference. Yes, Michigan State has a higher projection than they did last year. But this is a team that I think will rebound after, last year's 5-7 record. But the schedule is obviously tough, but, the schedule kind of set up them well to maybe have a really good season. I think, with Washington at home, they could probably win that game. But definitely that's a tough schedule for Michigan State. But, they really should be one of those top 4 teams. I'm not saying they're going to be a contender for the Big Ten championship. I'm saying they're going to probably be one of those dark horse contenders as well. Michigan State, though, coming off that 5-7 season, could be another really bad year for Michigan State. You never know. But I think this will be a better year for them. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Michigan State too much credit, after a bad season last year. But I think Michigan State definitely, is a sneaky good team in the Big Ten, but maybe not like a top 3 team perhaps, or maybe not like a top 25 team anyways. But they won't be ranked in the top 25 as well. But like I said, this is not my official predictions. These are simply projections based on those schedule previews and projected record series. But Michigan State projected to go 9-3 and 6-3 in conference. We had a tie here for number 3, but Penn State comes in here at number 3, also projected to go 9-3 and 6-3 in the conference. Penn State does have a pretty easy schedule, but yes, they do have to play Michigan, Ohio State, and obviously all these Big Ten East teams on the schedule. But this is a team that's coming off a 11-2 record from last year. They are projected now to go 9-3 in the season, but this is a Penn State team that's getting a lot of hype. Heading into 2023, they were, the top 5 in my spring football top 25. And in my way too early, they were sitting right there in the top 10. So Penn State, though, I think is a dark horse contender. I'm not saying they're going to win the Big Ten this year, but they are definitely one of those contenders that could probably, challenge Ohio State and Michigan on the schedule. And speaking of Ohio State and Michigan, Ohio State projected to go 10-2 and 8-1 in the conference. And you're probably thinking, how are Ohio State and Michigan both the same, similar? Well, Ohio State, they do have to play Notre Dame in the non-conference, so maybe their second loss comes to them in the non-conference. Maybe that second loss is to Notre Dame, and they finish out 10-2. And Ohio State does have a pretty tough schedule this year. If you look at their schedule, it is obviously tough. I mean, they do have to play Notre Dame and Michigan both on the schedule, especially Notre Dame in the non-conference, and that one is on the road, and so is Michigan is on the road. And Ohio State trying to win the division, where they used to win it all the time, but now Michigan's really owned them now in the last couple years. Can Ryan Day really turn this thing around for them? They're going to have a new quarterback this year, so we'll see what they look like at that quarterback position. That's the one thing I'm concerned about for this Ohio State team. But they do have the talent to beat, Michigan. That's the obvious answer. So, but again, they'll have to go on the road and face Michigan, and then Michigan comes in here at number 1, the team that is projected to go 11-1, 8-1 in the conference. Now, Michigan could probably have a loss in the regular season probably this year, or maybe they could probably go undefeated once again. And remember, they do play Penn State on the road, and that game right there maybe could be their only loss on the season. I think they can still win it to the Big Ten championship, perhaps, even if they were to lose that game. But if they were to lose to Ohio State and Penn State on the schedule, Ohio State would win the East. But if Penn State beats both Michigan and Ohio State, they definitely will win the East. But Michigan is projected, to probably win the East once again this year, and they're probably the absolute favorite to probably be one of those playoff contenders, perhaps, heading into 2023. But Michigan projected to go 11-1, 8-1 in the conference. That's the Big Ten East standings. Moving on to the Big Ten West, this division is always wide open every single year, and look at this. Look at these standings, and you tell me these projections, and also this division, you could tell, is going to be wide open. We'll start from the bottom. We'll start with Northwestern there at number 7. A team that's coming off that 1-11 season from last year. We don't know how good they're going to be, and that's how their projection came out to be 2-10 and 0-9 in the conference. We just don't know how good this Northwestern team will be in 2023. This team is just coming off a bad year. Maybe it's a turnaround, though. Maybe they win more than 2 games. And like I said, this is just a projection. It's not their overall record just yet. Again, my predictions won't come until the month of May. When we start in the month of May, we'll do all those predictions and pretty much, come back to these standings once again at the end of those predictions. And these standings really could change by the time we get to those predictions. But Northwestern, a team that's got a lot of question marks as of right now. They're number 7 here. Nebraska comes in at number 6. I have Nebraska projected to go to a bowl game. I think the schedule kind of sets up nicely for them to maybe make it to a bowl game, perhaps. They're projected to go 6-6 and 4-5 in the conference. Yeah, Nebraska coming off that 4-8 season from last year, but maybe this is a different Nebraska team. It's not the same Nebraska team that kind of chokes every game. So we're going to see what Nebraska can do this season with a first-year head coach. I think this Nebraska team is definitely better than they were from last year. Maybe they were, underrated from last year, but also they were definitely overrated. I picked them to probably be underrated from last year because I did predict this team to go 8-4 last year. But now Nebraska enters with a new era. They could be better this season, and they're projected to go 6-6, in my opinion, 4-5 in the conference. Illinois also projected to go 6-6 and 4-5 in the conference. This was a team last year that maybe had a chance to make it to a New Year's Six Bowl, but they did come up short in some of those games. They choked down the stretch. They're coming off an 8-5 record from last year. I think this could probably be a step-back year for Illinois. I don't know how good they're going to be in the Big Ten, but also we don't know how good this division is going to be. I mean, really, when it comes to the Big Ten West, there's not really that top team in the Big Ten West. I mean, you got 4 teams or maybe 5 teams or maybe all the Big Ten West teams challenging to go to the Big Ten Championship. Wisconsin comes in at number 4. A new era coming in for this Badgers team. They're getting a lot of hype with Luke Fickell coming in. And definitely this is one of the most underrated teams heading into 2023. I think this team is capable of, running the table. But like I said, I don't think the first year is going to work out okay. But They are projected to go 7-5 and 5-4 in the conference. I think Wisconsin is that team that can, make it, to maybe the Big Ten championship in their first year with Luke Fickell. But I think it's going to take some time for Wisconsin to run this division. Like I said, when it comes to the Big Ten West, you could see how tough it is to project these teams. And look, we had a three-way tie here with, 5-4, conference teams that are projected to go 5-4 in the conference. We had Wisconsin, Minnesota, Purdue. We'll start with Minnesota first. This is a team that are projected to go 7-5 and 5-4 in the conference. I think Minnesota is definitely a quiet team. I mean, not a lot of people are getting this team so much respect, and, they don't really think they can really belong in that Big Ten, West conversation, but they are definitely in that conversation this year, and you could see why they are number 3 on this, projected standings. But like I said, these could change by the time we do those predictions in the month of May. Minnesota could probably drop their record perhaps at 6-6, maybe 5-7, or maybe jump their record at 9-3 or 8-4s. But Minnesota and Purdue are both tied for 5-4. And then you got Wisconsin. These three teams are really battling for that top spot. And then you got Purdue here at number 2. Purdue definitely has one of the toughest schedules, I believe, in the Big Ten Conference. They do have to play Ohio State and Michigan both on the schedule out of the East. And that's really a tough draw there for this Purdue team, considering they are coming off that Big Ten championship appearance from last year. But they're projected to go 8-4 and 5-4 with that schedule. I mean, it will change, though, probably the time we do those predictions in the month of May. But don't sleep on this Purdue team. They could still challenge, in the Big Ten West. And then you got Iowa here at number 1. Iowa's projected to go 8-4 as well and 6-3 in the conference. But like I said, I don't think anybody can win 10 games in the Big Ten West this year. Now, the Big Ten East, I don't expect anybody to go undefeated, but, Michigan is one of those teams, and then Ohio State, you got them, Penn State perhaps, but Michigan and Ohio State have the best chance to go undefeated in the Big Ten East. And then in the Big Ten West, I don't really see anybody, as always, going undefeated or winning 10 games. I don't really see anybody win 10 games in the Big Ten West this year. But you got 4 teams that are really battling for that top spot. You got Iowa, Purdue, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. These 4 teams are going to battle it out, but like I said, anybody can win the Big Ten West division. Basically Ohio State and Michigan have both owned the Big Ten East now, but anybody can win the Big Ten West, and that's why the Big Ten West is so hard to predict every single year and also hard to project every single year. But like I said, these projected standings could change by the time we do those predictions in the month of May, and then we'll find out who my real prediction is for these Big Ten standings. But those are the Big Ten East and West projected standings for the 2023 college football season. Let me guys know what you think about these projections. And again, we'll do the Big 12 tomorrow. We'll do the Pac-12 on Thursday to end things out with these projections before we head into more off-season content on this channel. So, again, my predictions don't start until the month of May. But again, if you look at these standings, hopefully you guys enjoyed these standings. And again, do you agree or disagree with these projected standings? And stay tuned here for more sports content on the Lucas Ross Sports Channel.